What is your will, my master?
Hey, what's up, Chris? Quick demo video for you for your 89 Sabers OWK4. So I just got this done this morning and wanted to shoot this over to you real quick and hopefully get this out in the mail today. Now, this installed with a Proffie. It's got CC Sabers in here for your main PCB. So those are lit connectors for NeoPixel. It's got a removable chassis with a removable battery setup and a 28mm speaker. So how you get to everything is you just want to unscrew this right here. So the pommel and the booster section, take that off as one piece. And this is kind of what I designed. When you open this up, you've got easy access to your board. So your SD card and your micro USB. This does have the stock fonts on it, but I put a copy of the config file that I used on your SD card. So you can get to everything right there. It does have a piece of art tape around the board to hold it in place. And then you've got, there's a Smuggler's Outpost emblem right here, and then just a few Greeley's up here. And when you get to this point, what you want to do is just take this and pull it straight out, just like that. And then, I don't know if you'll be able to see that in the light. Yeah, you can kind of see it. You've got a blade side PCB in there that stays in there, never comes out. And then these are actually your buttons, right? So it's a 2-button setup. Your front switch is your activation, and then your back switch is your auxiliary here. And then here's what your chassis looks like from the inside. So on this Saber originally, it comes with a bracket and it has this PCB, the switch PCB attached to it, right? And it goes up in here. I took that off, obviously. I got that bracket out of the way. I attached the switch PCB to the actual chassis so that doesn't come out. And then you flip that 180 degrees and there's a 28mm speaker right here. This speaker, when the switches are lined up here, 180 degrees from the switches are these 3 holes. So you got these 2 holes and then this slit right here, and that's where your sound venting comes out of, and it sounds really loud. I've got that speaker encased in the chassis, so all that sounds just pushing forward right through those holes, and it sounds really good. And then removable battery setup, right? So spring side right here for your negative. And you've got a 7-pin connector here. So that is what makes contact with the blade side PCB inside your Saber. This only goes in one way. I designed it to only go in one way. It's a little hard to see in the light, but there is a flat piece right here. You can see that, and it rides along the chassis and up over these switches. That is meant for the actual plungers that sit inside of the Saber a little bit. So it only goes in one way. If you try to slide it in and you're not lined up, it's only going to go that far, right? You've got to be lined up with the switches here, and then it'll go in all the way like that. So that's how you clock the chassis, and you don't have to worry about it staying in place. The pommel actually, when you screw this on, it pushes everything forward and locks the pins in. So we'll put a battery in real quick. Good sound. Line it up with the switches, it goes right in. You got motion controls, obviously. That's okay. And then we'll take the handle and we'll screw it on all the way. You can feel the pins tighten up around the last 2 threads or so. And then everything's locked down. Or we could just use the activation here. And again, to turn it off, just like that. This takes a 1-inch diameter NeoPixel blade, so we'll throw one of those in real quick. And this Saber it has 2 blade retention screws. I'm not going to use either one of them, really, because my blade's pretty tight in here. But your 2 obviously are going to be located right. One's right there. You can see it, and the other one right there. So the blade's super tight in the socket, so it's nice and stable. I didn't put battle mode on here, so in order to get blade lock up, which is a little tricky, you have to hold down the aux and hit the blade or the saber at the same time, but that's all right. Go through some different colors. If we wanted to land on a blue, it's a nice blue, and hit power. Now we got a blue blade. All right.
Smooth gray.
Cycling through a couple different fonts so you can see it.
Smooth fuzz. Rogue
Just like that, and then we'll go ahead and take the blade out. I did not glue in the threads for this piece right here. So this brass neck piece, it meets this black grenade section. If you're not careful, it can unscrew. I hand tightened it as much as I could. I did, however, put a little bit of adhesive on the threads for this piece right here because, as you know, this kind of free floats. You can screw it down, but you can't tighten it. I put just a little bit of glue on the threads, screwed this down so it'll stay solid for you. And this piece can be just a little bit annoying if it keeps wobbling around, right? So lock that down and everything's good to go. To take the battery out, super simple, right? We just do the same thing. We'll unscrew this guy. This comes right out, and then the chassis pulls right out. Motion controls might go off on you if you're going to, put some sound fonts on this. I've got the settings at about a 3.8, so you might bump that up to like a 3.9 or a 4 would even work, right? You probably won't be able to get this battery out with your finger. You're going to need a small tool, but just come over here from the positive side and pop it right out just like that, and then the battery comes right out. And that is the chassis. And then we'll put it back in, for safekeeping. You just want to line those switches up, slide it right in, and throw this on. So that's pretty much your saber. Let me know if you got any questions, and if not, I'll try to get this out today. All right, thanks, man.